The Illinois Institute for Addiction Recovery website gives us this definition of video game addiction. Video game addiction is described as an impulse control disorder which does not involve use of an intoxicating drug and is very similar to pathological gambling. Similar to the addictions, individuals suffering from video games addiction use the virtual fantasy world to connect with real people through the internet. It's a substitution for real-life human connection which they are unable to achieve normally. Statistics show us that men and boys are more likely to become addicted to video games versus women and girls. Recent research has found that nearly 1 in 10 youth gamers ages 8 to 18 can be classified as pathological gamers or addicted to video gaming. Video games are big business. They are not going away anytime soon, if ever. Since the stats tell us most guys started playing video games at a young age, it's something they usually bring into a marriage relationship rather than acquiring the addiction in marriage. I'm sure that's not true 100% of the time, but it really is mostly my experience. While it may not have been an issue for someone living the single life, it can certainly be an issue in marriage. Often in a healthy marriage, both husband and wife have hobbies that their spouse is not interested in. So they work out time for each other to enjoy their activities. It becomes unhealthy when those activities constantly take time away from the marriage. It's when things get out of balance that the problems begin. Ellen and James are a great example. Before marriage, Ellen knew that James enjoyed video games. He and his virtual buddy spent lots of time playing. When a new version of their favorite game came out, they could spend a solid weekend playing. James always downplayed it and really worked hard at giving Ella time, but she could not help wondering if James really was willing to curtail this behavior in marriage, as he said he would. Things actually went really well the first few months of their marriage, but then James' time playing video games began to increase. When I saw them for counseling, James was spending most of his evenings with a controller in his hand. He had all the classic warning signs of addictive behavior. He thought about the game almost all the time. To get his fix, he had to increase his playing time again and again. And even though he knew it was a problem for Ella and would say he was going to cut back, he didn't. He couldn't. He was hurting their marriage. From Ella's perspective, it seemed he did not care. He lied to Ella, their friends, their parents, and to me much about how much time he was really playing. I saw a couple things in James that were really of concern. First, he did not think it was a problem. I think some of that was because video gaming had been a part of his life for so long, and in his mind, it had not been a problem for anyone then. He usually cast it as Ella's problem, and he was there to help her. As we all know, the first step to addressing an addiction is admitting that you have a problem. Second, he was able to justify his dishonesty within himself. He really thought that if Ella believed his lies about how much he was playing, everything would be okay. I knew that until James was ready to deal with those two issues, nothing was going to change. Ella asked him to move out until he was ready to be honest and deal with the addictive behavior. She said it was the hardest thing she had ever done, but she knew it was really her only choice. What would you do if you were in Ella's place? How would you handle that situation?